you might start sensing a trend here, but I also was kind of taken to the movie theaters by my daughter to see Transformers 1. This was not a movie I was particularly inclined to see. It seeks to tell kind of its version of the origin of Optimus Prime and Megatron. Now, I'm old enough to know that this is not, canon to any of that old stuff. This is kind of a reimagining, I think, of that going forward. So this is you see a lot of familiar characters besides Optimus and the characters that will become Optimus and Megatron, or they are them by the end of the movie. It shows that in the trailers. You see like Soundwave and Starscream, and it kind of recasts them a little bit too as different characters, so are different roles. So it plays with all their origins. But it's essentially retells that story as the story of broken friendship. And the animation is really good. Like the other movie, the pedigree is really good. This director behind it is a guy named Josh Cooley. The biggest claim to fame I saw for him was he wrote the story for the first Inside Out, which I think is one of the better Pixar movies of an elite bunch. And I think he came out of the Pixar kind of studio. So that's where he was involved with some other Pixar movies like Cars 2 and some other ones. Let me see. I think there was several here. Cars 2, Cars 2, in minor roles. Like I think he was on a story team, like learning. Like maybe he was not an intern, but one of the junior people. So he's not the main screenwriter or story writer, but he's just learning the ropes. So he was involved in the Pixar system. And the movie is from a storytelling standpoint is pretty good. The biggest issue I had with it, and again, I'm trying to do this without too many spoilers, but just the arc of Megatron, the character that becomes Megatron, doesn't, for me, quite work. It's a little bit clumsy. And so that hurt it for me as a movie a little bit. I thought the Optimus arc was a little bit better. It really was very similar to kind of the Rodimus arc from the original Transformers movie. It's a little different, obviously, the context, but the same kind of thing of someone that kind of has to learn responsibility to some extent and grow into a role that he needs to grow into. And so I thought it was a good movie, but it's still, in the end, I thought it was just a kid's movie. Like it's not something I would, because I think a lot of the dramatic stuff is done in a simple way. I wouldn't recommend an adult particularly go see it. Like it's not bad. Like I enjoy going to see it. I don't regret seeing it, but it's really for kids. It's not it doesn't deal with kind of complex emotional drama like of adult movies. It's broad strokes. I would say it's even less of an adult movie than the original Transformers movie from 1987. That to me is a more adult movie than this one is. This is kind of almost telling Star Transformers as kind of a fairy tale, almost. So that's kind of my take on that. Now, Lawrence? Did you see any trailers for Transformers 1? What was your take on it from the trailers?
I was just like everybody else. I was like, okay, whatever. They're trying to catch in on the franchise, but what's telling me, I think this is probably one of those experiences where everyone thought this movie was gonna crash and burn or fail, and so they actually saw it, and then they actually ended up liking it. I'm not a big fan of the live action series. Besides the first one, after that, it's kind of the stories just don't make sense. I mean, one movie contradicts the other movie and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But based on what everybody was telling me, I'll probably end up checking it out. I mean, I got to see everything anyway because I'm kind of a movie critic myself. So
sure.
I'm watching it anyway. But yeah, it seems like one of those experiences. With my favorite experiences where you think a movie's gonna be bad and it ends up being pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'll probably.
Yeah, I thought I would.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I just thought it was going to be mediocre, and it actually was better done than I thought it would be, though still, again, a kid's movie. Thanks for watching this clip from Only the Real Movie Podcast. Please like and consider subscribing to Low Key Classic Movies, and look out for the next episode of Only the Real Movie Podcast coming at the end of every month. Check out a full podcast, or maybe one of these clips, or another video from Low Key Classic Movies.